Honor your level. You might have heard that in yoga class. Maybe your teacher has said it to you several times. What does that even mean? Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy Bark and I've been teaching hot yoga since 1981. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. It really helps to boost it in the algorithm and I appreciate that. So, honor your level. You might have heard that a few times. What the yoga teacher usually means is don't try to push too hard, especially if you're a beginner or you're an intermediate student, you're looking at the advanced student, you're trying to keep up. Sometimes they'll say, honor your level, just take it slow and take it easy. So now let's really look at that phrase, honor your level, because it can really be interpreted different ways. Somebody who's injured, somebody who's a raw beginner, somebody who's been doing yoga maybe for a few years, advanced student, and a super advanced student. So let's talk about all the different levels. Let's say if you're injured. People say, well, I shouldn't do yoga. In fact, I recorded a YouTube video a few months back called Heal with Yoga. Now, a lot of times people think, because especially hot yoga, which is very athletic, if I'm injured, I can't really do what I normally do. And many times on the phone, somebody will call me and say, look, I hurt my back, so I have to take off a few weeks of yoga until I heal. And my response is, maybe I haven't been communicating properly, because that's why you do yoga in the first place. Now you're going to have to do it differently. Now you're going to have to go in what I call the healing mode. So again, check out that video, Heal with Yoga, and you can see what I'm talking about. But when you're in healing mode, you never want to go near the edge. So watch that video and I talk about it. That really doesn't apply with honor your level, because when you're injured, you have to be super conscious. You do not do yoga like you do when you're not injured, when you're in what I call maybe a normal or a fitness mode. That's a whole different expression and interpretation. Now let's talk about the beginner, the raw beginner. So usually when the yoga teacher says honor your level, especially as a beginner, many times you can be very intimidated. You come into that yoga class and you see people in the front row and you go, oh my goodness gracious, I can't do what they're doing. I could never do what they're doing. But then you push too hard, especially if you're a little more tenacious. Some people get ambitious in their practice and they're trying to push too hard to keep up because they get competitive. In the Western society, it's a very competitive, performance-oriented society. So sometimes we're pressured, at least within our own mind, we're pressured to keep up. So when the yoga teacher says honor your level to the beginning student, you have to really say, okay, and this is what I consider to be my most profound thing that I'll say to you in maybe any video that I make. Find your starting position in every pose, and I've said this many times, find your starting position in every pose without judgment. Because again, we get very performance-oriented. We think we should be doing a certain standard compared to other people. But if this is your starting point, then there's nothing you can do about that. This is what you're going to start with. Find your starting position without judgment. And then your only goal is to find the next inch, or if you don't live in the United States, the next 2 centimeters. That's it. Where's your next goal? That's so important, because if you push too hard, your body will tighten up at the thought of it, because it's too much. If you're trying to go 10 inches or 20 centimeters further than your starting position, your body will tighten up to protect itself. So we want to go slow and smooth. Take our time, and we're going to find the next level without judgment. So let's sum that up again. Find your starting position without judgment, find the next inch or centimeter, and that's it. If you can stick to that philosophy, that'll change your yoga practice forever, I guarantee it. Now we're moving on to the intermediate student who has, let's say, been coming a year, 2 years. You're starting to see a lot of progress, but then usually when you're a beginner, you're going to see breakthroughs happen. You're going to continue to improve rapidly. But when you hit certain plateaus in your practice, 2 years into it, 3 years into it, sometimes you will plateau. And the breakthroughs will be far and in between. So that's when it's really important to go back to what I was saying before. To the beginning student philosophy is find your starting position without judgment. Your only goal is your next level, your next inch, your next centimeter. Don't get attached to the result, because if you're a type A personality, you may hurt yourself. You may push a little too hard, and that's when injury can occur. So when they say honor your level, especially at that intermediate level, you got to be super conscious. Okay, this is what I've got. This is where I'm starting at. Where's my next level? Where's my next inch? Stay within yourself. Now you get more to the advanced level, and that changes things. Because at the advanced level, you've got a little bit more consciousness about how your body and your mind work together, because that's a really important thing. I'll see people come to my class from other styles of yoga or from other teachers that have been doing, and I can tell they've been doing their practice long enough because they have this mind-body connection. So at the advanced level, now honor your level takes on a different consciousness. This is where it changes. And I always say there's a fine line between doing too much and not doing enough. And you got to find that place in the center, somewhere in the middle there. And it also depends on your personality type too, like I mentioned before. If you're type A, if you're very ambitious and you're really going after your practice, you got to be careful. You probably have to tone it down a little bit. You know, we were practicing 3-4 classes a day. We even do 5, which is insane. But it was too much. And I definitely pretty much injured every area of my body that you can imagine. Doing all that yoga, we're just trying to keep up to Bikram standard back then. But on the other side of that coin, let's say you're not as ambitious, but you still have a strong advanced practice, you may have to challenge yourself a little bit more. So sometimes it depends on the personality type. And Ayurvedic, they talk about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. The Vatas are the type A, they're the ambitious type. The Kaphas are the slow, sort of molasses type. The Kaphas usually have to push a little harder. The Vatas have to be pulling back a little bit. The Pittas, if you're in, now I teach hot yoga, usually the Pittas don't like the heat, so you don't see too many Pittas if you're Pitta dominant in a hot yoga room. If you're interested in learning more about Ayurvedic science, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, these are the personality types. I'm not really an expert on the subject, so if you can Google it, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I was a Kapha, so I had to push even more. I had to challenge myself even more. And that brings us to the final stage at the advanced and the super advanced level. When the teacher says honor your level, that means you may have to challenge yourself more. So I say when we do the Barkan Vinyasa, and that's going to be another video, I'm going to explain to you what the Barkan Vinyasa and how hot Vinyasa sort of came about. But when we go to the 5th Vinyasa, I'll say, look, if you're injured, if you're a beginner, you're new to the Vinyasa, honor your level, pace yourself, may even go into Chow Pose. If you're advanced, if you're an experienced yogi, if you're experienced in the Barkan method, experienced in hot yoga, then it's time to cowboy up. So when I say honor your level to the advanced student, I'm saying challenge yourself. So honor your level doesn't always mean hold back. If you are that advanced student, you may have to challenge yourself to that next level. You may have to buck up or cowboy up or however you want to call it. When I worked with the Miami Dolphins, they would say it all the time. Suck it up, cowboy up. If you're not injured, you may have to be pushing yourself. You may have to go to that next level. When you say honor your level, it really depends on the level that you're at, and also depends on your personality type. You may have to back off a little bit. If you're injured, if you're a beginner, stay within your own practice. As you start to advance, you may want to start to challenge yourself more. So remember what I said before, there's a fine line between doing too much and doing too little. Challenging yourself, not doing enough. So where is that place in the center? And that's moderation. And that's really being super conscious of the mind and the body coming together. So that's what we're talking about. Who you are, what your personality is, where your level is, how you can interpret the phase, honor your level. So that's our episode for today. My name is Jimmy Bark, and if this is the first time we're meeting, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.